We'll start this video on the way to San Diego for Christmas. We got held back for like an hour because there was this vehicle, this thing moving across all the lanes, kind of by Yuma. And so not very many people were out there, but it held up traffic for so long. And behind us, there was so many cars, and we don't even know what that ended up being, but I had to take a video. You got a little grumbly.
You got a little grumbly. It's okay, man. We love you. I'm sorry, man.
Well, it was a quick trip to San Diego. We came back to Tucson to celebrate Christmas itself. Here's a couple little blips of cookie making and the scenery. And, well, you'll see a little bit of flooding.
It is.
So everything for you too.
It looks cool with the big clouds.
We're here in Tucson. We're at Sabino Canyon. This is Christina. She's been my best friend since first grade. We used to live down the street from each other and ride our bikes. You have anything to add on?
No, and jump on the trampoline.
Yeah. We went to Sabino Canyon, drove by Davis-Monthan Air Force Base where they filmed Transformers, and then also stopped by Lisa Frank because I saw that they had repainted a bunch of stuff. Hopefully there'll be more Lisa Frank stuff coming soon. We hurried back to Dallas for New Year's Eve and just had some friends over and rung in the new year. We're back to the Z32 this week. A few weeks ago when Chance was in town, we had an issue with the Z not starting. So he actually sent like a handful of these to the shop. So I'm gonna go put this on now, see if we can get it started without a hitch, which I'm pretty sure this will fix it. It's also colder today, so we got the fan hooked up with some propane. Fingers aren't strong enough to put this in there, so I'm gonna heat it up and see if I can make it a little floppy. So this audio came out really bad, so you're going to hear me speaking over myself. But what happened to my roof was it was caught in a hailstorm in 2016, and the front got it way worse than the back. So I'm about to clean it up. I'm going to put a thin layer of putty over it and then sand it all down to fill in those gaps. I just finished putting the putty on the front of the windshield, and I'm actually pretty excited with how it came out. You can already see that it filled so much of the hail damage, and that I did put a little bit more than I was planning on there, but I figured it's going to be easier to sand it off than it would be for me to reapply, wait for it to dry, sand again, wait for it to dry, that whole process. So let me show you. I am aware that it looks like crap right now, but it's all part of the process. So now let's do the back of it. The back came out really nice, but there also was only a couple of dents in it from the hail. I don't know why the front of the car had more damage than the rear. They were both in the same hailstorm in 2016 when we had like a series of 3 huge hailstorms that rolled through Texas. But yeah, if that's the extent of the damage and a little bit on the hatch, and well, I guess the fenders, but those are getting replaced anyway, then I guess I lucked out. So the back is done, the front is done. I just tested the front and it looks like it's nowhere near dry. And if you didn't notice, it is pretty cold, so I'm probably gonna have to wait until tomorrow to sand this or come back later this afternoon once it's had time to cure and dry, to be able to start sanding it, block sanding it, and just seeing if there's any other spots that I'm gonna need to fill to make sure it's as smooth as possible. Because I mean, let's be honest, the T-tops are gonna be carbon fiber and they are super flat, and I'm not gonna want any other part of the roof to be ripply or show any signs of dents, because I really wanna do this right. Also, you're gonna notice, if you haven't already, like a fan noise. And being so cold, I bought this heater last year and it works wonderfully. So this is gonna be a lifesaver in this winter. What I'm gonna do now is, I know it looks like half of this is already sprayed silver, but I'm not exactly sure what silver. But I'm gonna paint half of this the same silver as I want the base coat for the candy of my scene to be. And then on the other side, I have a tuxedo black, but it's got like usually high metallic in it, like really big metallic. So I'm going to spray the other side with that to see if I want the candy to be brighter or if I want it to be darker. So this is going to be my little test panel. It's metal, so it should reflect real similarly as if it was going to be painted on the car. And let's just see how it goes. All of the base coat laid down on that little piece of metal, I'm going to open this box behind me. That's where all the candy is, and going to get that mixed perfectly so I can replicate the paint in a larger form. This is when shit hit the fenith.
Oh, it burns.
Oh, it smells like grape. Why does it smell like grape?
Well, here's some better lighting. I had to take some of my makeup off, but it burns my eyes. I also got it all over my hand, and I know you're not supposed to smell it, but I swear it smells like grape. The color is called grapeness. There's not going to be a super easy way to get this off without, you know, chemicals. So, hopefully this didn't waste too much. That package was really difficult to get into. I hope the other two are not as hard to get into as that one, but let's continue. This is how it looks in the sun. Now let's get the car in the booth and do the jams. Sometimes you just gotta call it a day and start again tomorrow. I'm about to paint the door jams, and Chris has been working on his power steering. We got a new pump from Sac City, well, a new used pump from Sac City out of another 370, and Chris just found out that he actually...
Look, I'm just picking pieces of drive belt out. There's everywhere.
My niece drove Chris's car at our last ladies drift day, and she sent it pretty hard, so Chris is fixing all the power steering stuff from that day.
That's what they're for. That is what they are for.
But super thankful for this pump from Sac City.
Okay, so I had to loosen the fan and kind of get it out and then down to be able to get this bolt off. Because it was only getting to about here. I still had a whole inch to go. Sucks, but whatever. Alright, so super pumped on that. Alright, so this is the old one that kind of exploded, thinking. This is the new one Sac City sent out. Look how much cleaner it is. Look, they even included the brush washers on there. Thing is clean. Super pumped on that. This thing is gonna be awesome. We'll get that thrown on, get the fans back in place, coolers on. Let's do it. I always like that downside of trying to line everything back up. And there we go. Bolt is forever long. Tension back on that belt. And we're good. All right, so I've got my cooler on. Got that new power steering pump. Can't believe I had to pull the fans. But it's all back together. Just need to top this bad boy off with some fluid. This is what I picked up. Shout out Aaron Parker. This stuff is magic. Stoked on that. Oh man, that's a good looking car. I'm pumped. That was a super easy install, but at least for power steering, I think it's gonna do just fine. It's not like I drive this car on the street or around town. It's pretty much just a dedicated track car at this point. So let's go out there and jam.